Hey everyone, it's triplemangothreat, and if you're new to EDH, this is a perfect video for you, or if you're just looking to build Sram in general, this is going to be one for you to watch. Let's jump right into it. Our commander is Sram Senior Edificer for 1 and a white. It's a 2/2 Dwarf Advisor. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. For those who do not know white does not have really any good card draw. So this commander completely bypasses all of that and is telling you, hey, if you cast these specific spells, I'm going to let you draw a card. So in this deck, it's really important that we protect our commander because he is our card draw, and also this is going to be pretty much a Voltron deck. There are going to be some creatures we can use that have double strike, or they're evasive enough that we can equip those auras or equipments to them, and they're going to get in for a lot of damage. So what are auras and equipments, and how do we know if we're casting them? Well, I have two examples here. I have Armored Ascension and Bone Splitter. Armored Ascension is an aura because it's an enchantment aura, and it's going to enchant a creature. So how we show a creature is enchanted is by putting the enchantment under the enchanted creature. Same with Bone Splitter, except we have to pay a cost to equip it. So we can cast it for 1 mana and it goes on the battlefield, but we have to pay 1 more mana to equip it to a creature, and we can only do it as a sorcery, which means we can only do it on our turn, and we can't do it in response to something. And again, how we can tell it's an equipment is it says equipment right next to artifact. There's a lot of ways to draw cards in this deck, and we can actually draw cards by using removal on our opponents. We have cards like Cage of Hands, Pacifism, and Reprobation. These are going to make it where they're hurting our opponent's creatures, and we still get to draw cards because they are auras. Remember, it's right next to the enchantment word, and our commander lets us draw cards because they're auras. So to summarize, we're hurting our opponents, and we get to draw cards. We also have some board wipes that are going to allow us to have 1 creature left standing, which is really important because our commander is our most important creature. We have cards like Divine Reckoning and Winds of Wrath. We're going to destroy all of the creatures, and we're going to save 1 with Divine Reckoning, and we destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted with Winds of Wrath. And since we have a lot of enchantment auras, there's a very high possibility our commander isn't going to be hit with this. We can make our commander unblockable with cards like Whisper Silk Cloak and Prowler's Helm. They are equipment, so we're going to draw a card by playing them, and they're going to make our equipped creature unblockable. Now, with Prowler's Helm, it's not really unblockable, but if our opponents aren't playing Walls, which is a creature type, we get to have our commander go through and hit our opponents directly. We're even making tokens by casting our enchantments with Sigil of the Empty Throne and Ajani's Chosen. So when we cast an enchantment, we're making a 4/4 White Angel creature token with flying, which is really powerful because some decks in Commander don't have any flyers, so that means we're going to be able to swing at our opponents unblocked with those flying creatures. We also have Ajani's Chosen whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, which is different from casting, but when they enter the battlefield, we get a 2/2 White Cat creature token, and if it happens to be an aura, we can attach that aura to that token, which is really nice. With our commander giving us all these cards to draw, it's really important that we're protecting our commander with cards like Spirit Mantle and Mask of Avacyn. This is an aura and an equipment, so we're also drawing a card off of protecting our commander. It's going to give us protection from creatures, and it's going to make our commander hexproof, which means we can still target it, but our opponents cannot. So we can still have auras and equipments on our commander, but our opponents aren't going to be able to destroy our commander, which is really helpful. In the case that our auras or equipments are going to be put in our graveyard, we have ways to get those cards back with cards like Crystal Chimes, Monk Idealist, and Sun Titan. Crystal Chimes cost 3, and we can pay an additional 3 to tap and sacrifice, so we get to return all enchantment cards from our graveyard to our hand, which that means more card draw because if they're auras, we're going to be able to draw cards off of our commander. Monk Idealist, when it enters the battlefield, we can return target enchantment card from our graveyard to our hand, and Sun Titan, when it enters or attacks, we get a permanent, which means a card that can be on the battlefield. So whether it's an enchantment, an equipment, a creature, as long as it has converted mana cost 3 or less, we're going to be grabbing that with Sun Titan. So besides our commander, we actually have other creatures in this deck, like Segovian Angel, Core Duelist, and Skyhunter Skirmisher. If we have our auras or equipments on these creatures, we can make them bigger, because with cards like Skyhunter Skirmisher, if it has double strike, let's say we made it to where our Skyhunter is a 2/2, it's now dealing 4 damage. So whatever the power is of Skyhunter, it's going to be dealing twice that much. Segovian Angel has flying and vigilance, and like I said before, some decks don't have flying creatures, so if we have Segovian Angel with a really high power, we can deal a lot of damage, and we can also block with it because it has vigilance, so it doesn't tap when it attacks. And finally, I want to talk about even more card draw because I personally love to draw cards. We have cards like Cage of Hands and Conviction. I did mention Cage of Hands earlier as removal, but if you look at the ability at the very bottom, it says, if you pay 1 and a white, you can return Cage of Hands to its owner's hand. And you're probably thinking, why is this good? Well, We can pay its mana cost again, and we're going to be drawing a card off of our commander because this is an aura. And the same with Conviction. It costs 1 and a white, but if you look at the bottom, it has that ability only for 1 white. We can return it to our hand, and then we can pay 2 to draw cards. So if we're in a little bit of a bind, we can return these enchantments to our hands and draw even more cards. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to purchase this deck for you or a friend, you can do so by using the link below when buying them. It will really help out the channel, and it's at no additional cost to you. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'd love to answer all your questions or just say hi. And as always, subscribe for more Mango content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.